Hi guys, today we will discuss JUnit. Before going to JUnit, you need two things. One is Java and another is Eclipse. Make sure you install both these things. Any Java version is okay. So let me show you. I have Java 12 and I have installed Eclipse. So when you have installed these two things, open Eclipse. This will be a Maven project. So make sure you have a Maven installed in Eclipse Marketplace. You can search for Maven and install that plugin from here. Once you are done, to create a JUnit testing module, go to File, New, Maven project. But if it doesn't appear Maven project here, you can pick other. Then search for Maven, Maven project. I will create a simple simple project. Make sure you click this thing. Next, it is asking for group ID. I will give it this thing. And if I try to give JUnit, it's finish. Now it will help us to build a JUnit structure. So we have this thing, main thing and test thing. Whatever you have coded, that will be in these two folders. And for testing purpose, you have to pick these two things. Now I will create a simple class to explain how JUnit test case has a class. I will take this class. I will train append class name. Let the package name be the same. And finish. Think this has our class. We need to test this class. I will give a simple method. String append which takes this as argument. Now I will return something like this. So this is our method which need to be tested. Make sure your method returns something. Here in case I am returning string, in real world scenario you may perform certain operation and return something. It may be object or primitive. Okay, it should return something. Our method should return something. So to test this method is working fine or not, we use JUnit. So for this, to test this thing, we have to pick this source test module. Here you define a JUnit test case. Pick JUnit test case. Next, it will also ask for the same things, the package name and the name. I will give class name as string and test. Package name will be same thing. Finish. Now Eclipse will ask you to add this dependency in your project. Okay, that's it. Uh, we have got this thing. Eclipse has generated this at the rate test annotations because this is a testing method. Now if we are interested to test this thing, so I will call that method here. For that I will create that object here, string append and equal to string append. Now app dot append. It's expecting one argument because I have defined there like that Java. So how do we test this thing? It will return some string I will show you string test. So to test that function, we use assert equals. Assert equals, which expects two arguments. One is the expected one is the actual one. This is, let me rename this as actual. Actual one means what we, we get from this program. What this program is giving. That's the actual one. This expected is what we are expecting, what the result should be. So the result should be Omkar Java, because we are passing Java on argument here, and I am appending Omkar plus S. So Omkar plus Java should be our expected value. Let's see what this assert equals returns. If it is returning the same value, means that our method is performing well, or else somewhere our program is has a bug. So right click, run as JUnit tests. We have got a green bar. That means our program is running fine. What we are testing, that is running good. If it's not returning what we have expected, then this green bar will turn into red. Let me show you. In this case, we're doing Java is Python. So the expected value is Omkar Java, but it will give you Omkar Python, which is not the correct. So JUnit, say red bar. It will also say the reason what it has failed. Here you can see expected Omkar Java, but was Omkar Python. So it clearly defines you what is going on here. Okay, this is the thing. Java will perform that. Okay. So for each operation, we need to define a different test method. The same thing I will do like this. Here you will test something, and here you can test another thing. Here I will give Python expected be Python. Okay. Now I am running two test cases. I'm sure in real world scenario you might be something different thing, but the overall core part is same. So right click, run as JUnit test. Our test, both test cases have been succeeded. If anything is wrong, consider your something and given a different value. Then it will show you where it has gone wrong, in which test case it has gone wrong. So it will say 2 runs and 1 failure. We have run two cases, but we have 1 failure. It will indicate here. Here it's a cross symbol and here is a correct symbol. That means test 2. Our test 2 method is not performing well. You can see the log here what's wrong. It was expected Omkar PYT, but it has resulted in Omkar Python. So studying this, you can fix the bug. So in expected and actual, here these things may be anything. Here I have given string, but in real case we may return any object, maybe employee object, student object, and any other object. It will evaluate to check whether these two conditions are equal or not. It may be primitive or object, anything. So We are done with assert equals. There is also two methods called assert false and assert true. For that, I will create another method. Public will return uh, boolean value. I will just check return one. One. I'm just testing this thing to demonstrate how that method works. For test case, we have to embed this thing with the test annotation. Now, make sure your testing method is public, because in real world scenario you may be using frameworks which may need access of this method test method. So in this case, if you give any private or any default access modifier, then it will throw you some access no visibility error kind of thing. So if this testing method should be public, and it's always of void type. I will test boolean. Okay. Now I will call our instance. On instance, I will check. Okay. Now this is a boolean to say some variable. I will call. We know that this function is a check function is returning a boolean value. For boolean, we have both a true and a false. As a true, as a true, it will take the condition, this thing. So it will always perform a true thing here. That means we have two values. We have given expected and this actual value. As a true will what it will evaluate to this code, true comma boolean. Internally, the code runs like this. It will accept one argument which we have given here, and internally it will place true, but it will showing error because it will accept only one thing. So our app our check method returns a true or false scenario. So I'm storing this as B and assert equal to true. By default, it will assert to true. Now we have given 1 equal to 1 2, which is true. That means 2 equal to 2 should pass our test. But once test, it failed. Let me comment these things. Only one specific thing. Yeah, succeeded. The test boolean is succeeded because I am asserting this value to true, and also our value here what we have given is also true. So that's why the test has succeeded. If in case if it's returning false, this case is false. That means here the b value what it is returning here is false, but it is evaluating to true, which is not equal. In that case, our test case should fail. So the red bar escape, here is a X marks. So it's saying assertion error, asserted to true, but what value we have provided is of type false. That's it, yes. Same thing with also false. Test false. We will take the condition. Here we are providing a false condition, which is 1 does not equal to 2, which will give you the false. False equal to false. That means our test case should Sorry. Our test case should pass. Yes. Here this value is false and it is also asserting to false. That's why test succeeded. If we give here true value, then it won't succeed there. In assert false and assert true, there are two methods or two overload methods. One is assert false, which takes only boolean condition. Another one is first it will take a message, then a boolean condition. Let me do this here. You can type some message for your thing, and you can pass this here. So if you run this, when you run, if you get any error, it will show this some message here. We have not failed the case. If you fail the case here, it will indicate your message that has to fail, and it has failed. Test boolean case and fail. It will say assertion error, some message. You can see some message. What we have passed here in some message, what we have passed, it will display here. So we can have a clear visual on the problem and can rectify the problem. Now we will be discussing regarding annotation of before, after, before class and after class. Let me comment on this thing. So there are two annotations. At the rate before. So here this method should be public. Or let me say these methods are like helper methods. This before method which you have annotated with before will execute before this test case. Whatever test you have defined here, it will execute before this. I will show you before, and also there's also same thing called after, which executes after your test case method. While after these things after. So I have now only same like before. We have an after annotation. After, so same way public or after after, which means this before and after annotation, if you have annotated with these two things, means before your test case module of function, the before method will execute. As soon as your test case is completed, the after will execute. So testing method. Now I will run this. Our test case has been passed, and this comes before testing and then after. This before annotation and after annotation is for per method. That means if you have one method, it will execute one time. If you have 10 methods, it will execute for 10 times. Let me uncomment the same thing I will show you how it works. If you view this thing, test 2. So now I have two test methods, and I have applied before and after. I said you that it will apply for per method. That means this before and after should also come two times. One is Junit test case, and that's it. Test case has been passed before testing after, and if for the second time also before testing and after. Similarly, like method level, two classes like before and after. That's also one annotation which is before class. This also public method or before class. I will say this print before class. In the same way, you can expect there's also an after class public or after class print after class. So, what's the difference between after class and before class? So we have both annotations before class and before. Before and after are for per method. For per method, it will execute that many times. That means if you have 100 test cases, it will appear 100 times. But this before class and after class is for only class level. When a class is loaded, then it will load this annotation for only one time. If you run this code, you will see the following output has failed somewhere. Let me fix it. It's telling that method before and after class should be static. Yes, these are both static methods. So let me give a static here. Okay, and also for after class static. Okay, both methods are static. Remember that. So if you run this case, the test has been passed, and you can see first before class, before testing after. Then again before has come testing and after class. That means after class and before class are performed only one time. And but this before and after are performed for per method. That means this before class will load when this class is loaded. Append test when it is loaded, it will also load this before class. And at the end of our class string append test class, when it's going to end, before ending, that will perform after class. This is same to our web development like request processing, connection creation, like this. What we do in web development is in we use like pre-construct, post-construct methods. Same here for at a class level, what we do is connection created before invoking our class, but at the time of ending programs or shutting the app, what we do is connection destruction destroy. So when we deploy our app, the connection should establish, and when we shut, the connection should destroy. And for each request, what we do is uh, processing filter request processing. This consider this is our sublet method which processes the request for us. Before processing these methods, before and after is like filter class. for filtering our request and response. What before does is a request filter. This is like request processing, and what is after is response filter. Response filter. These are method level. That's why they are like filter objects. These are a class level. That's why they are used to creation and destruction of the objects. So like test one case. If you change this order, if you change this before class or before this, or if you do jumble this, it will execute its internal order. Let me define these two things right here, and I will place after class. That means I have declared after at the top our test module, and at last before. So people will think if I have placed here, this will execute the last node. It will execute according to their internal order, what JUnit has defined. So I have declared before at the last, first it will create the connection object, which is first priority goes to this, then uh, request filter, the second priority goes to before, and our actual test module, request processing, response filter, and connection destroy. This is similar to our frameworks what we use like interceptors. In the same way, you have assert equals for boolean objects, print everything. You can also do a performance test like this. Like take a for loop, take over anything, give a 1 crore iteration for one internet, so same thing. So for performance test at the test level, you will say time now equal to 1 means 1 milliseconds. Then I will give it a 1 second of time to perform this operation, which is 1 crore for loop, outer loop, and 1 crore loop. Means 1 crore into 1 crore times it will run. For operation we will do this k equal to 0. What I will do is I'll just add this thing, k equal to I plus j. Okay. Now output this value. This for performance test. If we want to see this operation is performed within our given time, it's also kind of testing whether it can do it within the time interval. I have given them such big operation, 1 crore into 1 crore times, totally 14 zeros of operations within 1 second. Let's see whether it will pass or it has passed. Means this much bigger operation it has passed. See, 2 crore, value of k is 2 crore, that means the result has passed. Let the decrease time, let me decrease the time and see. Just I have given 10 milliseconds to perform this operation. And the test failed because it has given me the value, but it has not done within the given time limit. That's why you have got this red bar. You can read the message test timeout exception. It has not done within 10 milliseconds. So this much bigger operation is done within 1 second. 1 crore into 1 crore, which 1 and 14 zeros. Java is damn fast. Once a PHP developer said me just now is slower. Now I want to show this thing to him and smash his head. With the same thing like this, you can also give some expected value for this also. And, take this code here. I will do some expected code equal to no pointer exception. I'm expecting an pointer exception means my trace dot class means I'm expecting a null pointer exception here. My method should return that thing. So yes, we have our test case here, and I'm expecting a null pointer exception here. So these methods should return a get value of null pointer exception. But here we are not getting any null pointer exception. Let's see. Our test should fail. Will fail or not. So it has failed. That means it is expecting null pointer exception, but your method has not returned any null pointer exception. So in that case, I will throw null pointer exception. Exception. Now we are throwing null pointer exception, and the test case is also expecting null pointer exception. That means requirement has met. It should pass now. Yes, it has passed. So here you expected you can give any class. If you are returning some employee object or student object or anything, you can give here your type of that class. If it's written the same value, it will pass, otherwise it won't. Now we will deal with arrays. How arrays will perform. A will define 1, 3, 1, 5, 5, 3, 4. Same way, 8 equal to 1, 3, 4, 5, 7. So I will give this input and I am expecting this as output. So what I will do is as arrays dot sort. So I have given and jumbled numbers here, and I have sorted that thing. That means input is our A, and I am expecting output in a sorted manner. So for this thing, there's some equals assert equals we have used this thing, but you cannot use this thing here because expect and actual are of object types. When you put this thing A here and B here, actual and expected, actual and expected, this is expected value and this is actual value. When you put this in here, it will fail because arrays when is evaluated, it will give you the class name some with hash code. It will not produce you the exact numbers. But that's the problem. So when you run this, it will give you test fail case. See, because it's expecting it has not got what we have because unexpected and actual it is in the class name like array something with the hash code. So to overcome this, they have provided a method for especially for arrays equals. When you give this thing, now this expected and equal value. Now this method what we propose when you place this expected here and actual one here, it will replace here with these values and then it will equate them. When you run this thing, yes, come for something more than transaction. So I have to remove this thing. Now if you run this, it's true. It has added to the numbers. If you don't use this thing, it will give you an error. Error. It's only for arrays. It's not for list because if you provide your list value will produce your actual numbers itself. So you don't need to worry about the collections part. As I said before, those assert arrays equals are applicable only for listings, arrays things, and assert equals is applicable for everything objects. So you can use assert equal method for collections also. So I have defined these two things expected and actual. And expected I have given the exact order, what I should get 1, 2, 3. But actual thing what I have given is 2, 1, 3. Now I have sorted this actual thing. So I'm expecting the result to be the same. So now I'm not using any list method or connection method. I'm the same as it equals I'm using because list these connections are evaluated to define what values we have provided. So it will not give any hash code on this thing. So when we run this thing, see, Java test or the test case. If you don't solve this, then it should test should fail. Test should fail. Test fail. Why? It's expecting 1, 2, 3. See, this is not evaluated to any class name and some exact code. It has evaluated to actual numbers what I have provided. This expecting 1, 2, 3, but it has found 3, 1, 3. That's it what I have to show you that it's applicable only for array, not for connection objects. So now the final thing is you can compare these two values in parameters. So for that you have to do annotate with two annotations. One is at run with which accepts a parameterized dot class at class level, and another annotation is method level which is at the rate parameter which is at method level. Here in this method I have a return type of collection string object. Here in this parameters annotation method, we will provide a values for input and output in pair level. This is a two-dimensional. So I am passing something here, and it should provide me the exact output. So let me change this one. I have given Omkar and something should go. Okay, so give okay. If I give input Java, it should give Omkar Java. If it should I provided input value Java, it should provide me Omkar Java. That means we have passed, we have actual and expected value in page itself. Expected actual process and utility cost. So in here method asset input output. I have defined the two string variables input and output, and I am injecting using constructor. So what this parameter and this will do is we will take this k and put it in input, and after process it will give output. So now here this part output will be injected the same way. This first thing is Java, which is goes to input, and the second is what output we have expected. It goes to this output. After processing it will be as a replace. So now if I run this test case, it will pass three of the three tests. Here I am given um, two-dimensional array. Two-dimensional array. I have given three indexes. This is 0, this is 1, and this is 2. So it has run for the three times. So that's why it has appeared here for three times. If you give n times, it will appear here n time. That means I am passing this k here. It will happen and give me Omkar k. In second case, I am providing Java. So it will happen Omkar plus Java. So what I am expecting is Omkar Java. Any one case is not giving any exact thing, then it will show that index has failed. I have intentionally failed the 1 second now. See, we have run three cases, one failure. Zeroth index and seventh index has been passed, but this first one has failed test case one. Because it's not getting the actual value, it will show you expected AR Java, but it has got Omkar Java. So no need to worry about this thing. Just we have to do only two things. Annotate a class level run with, and you have to input parameters in the class. And these parameters which you will provide an output and input, you have to mention this parameter here. And dimension error. This is input, and it will process here, and it will give you some actual output. And this is what we have expected. So we evaluate and equate here itself. So the last thing is in real world scenario you might have dealing with many test cases. Here I have defined only one Java file for test case. There may be multiple cases where you will be dealing with. So I will paste this thing. Second. Uh, Consider you have to test these four files. So what you will do is at once select select them what you need. I'm selecting all four. Now on this I will right click new other, say we'll search for JUnit. Now we are not picking JUnit here. We will pick JUnit test suite for testing multiple files. Next package is say okay, and it will ask what test classes you want to include. You can check, uncheck, and remember two files, three files, or four files, anything. Now finish it. You will generate a class called all.test.java. Same thing, we are run with super class. It will take implicitly and insert. classes. It will provide all the classes value what you uh, uh, considered here. Come appear all these things. You can run all these things at one go. Run change test cases. How many test cases there are? Those will run 12 test cases and all they have failed. Let me check what I have done wrongly. Okay, intentionally I made this thing to appear wrong. So I fixed that thing. Then come back and run all test cases at once. So it's getting so that's in all the cases I have not fixed this because I've copied files. Let me find it. Yeah, so, Java, yeah, so we have to fix. Not let me know this. In one go you can know if everything is passed. This is a kind of JUnit. Select everything and right click here and JUnit sheet. It will create your all the classes will be selected here. At one go you can test all the test cases. Everything is passed. 12 cases were run that works. Thank you.